Hello everyone, and welcome to the Millennial Tourist YouTube channel. In today's video, we will talk about the top 10 best places to live in Australia. So, before we get started, make sure to hit this like button. And please subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. And please make sure you watch this video until the end because it's one of the most amazing and interesting topics. Australia is a country of opportunity and freedom. It is home to some of the world's most breathtaking natural wonders. From the Great Barrier Reef to Uluru, with a clean environment and beautiful landscapes. Australians enjoy a high standard of living, with one of the world's best healthcare and education systems. In Australia, you will find a diverse multicultural society that celebrates its diversity through its food, arts and culture. This is not just because Australia has been home to people from all over the world for centuries, but also because it remains an open society today, welcoming people from all countries who want to call it home. We do the research, you do the traveling. Here, we have compiled a list of the best places to live in Australia. Now all you've got to do is watch and see what takes your fancy. Number 10. Cairns. Set in far north Queensland, Cairns is where Australia starts to get tropical. People often visit Cairns on their way to the Whitsunday Islands and/or the incredible Great Barrier Reef, which needs no introduction. Still, Cairns itself has its fair share of natural landscapes, including a reef and rainforest. Thinking of a move to Cairns? Then you should consider the neighborhood of Cairns North, a friendly place to live that's also quite near Flecker Botanical Garden, and more affordable than other areas of the city. There's also Edge Hill, a good place if you're into nature. It's further from the sparkling sea but cheaper than coastal neighborhoods. After a sweaty hike, your efforts will be rewarded by chance to swim in the cooling waters of the gorge itself. The city itself has more culture than you'd expect. Get your art on at the Cairns Art Gallery, CAG, and then head to one of the many cafes in the city to fill your stomach with good eats. Number 9. Adelaide. Adelaide is the capital of South Australia and the place to go if you're a fan of old architecture. There's plenty of that to be found in this interesting and pretty historic city. In fact, Adelaide boasts the nickname, the City of Churches, owing to the sheer number of churches on its planned-out grid system of streets. For somewhere to live in Adelaide, check out Bohemian Brompton. This neighborhood is a bit of a student hub with plenty of hipster hangouts. Great for cheap eats and drinks, vintage shops, and all pretty close to the city center. For somewhere near the beach, head to Brighton or Glenelg, in the west of Adelaide. Start your adventures in the city at the 150-year-old South Australia Museum, complete with the country's largest collection of Indigenous artifacts. Or the Art Gallery of South Australia, the manicured grounds of the University of Adelaide, or wander around Victoria Square, the focal point for the city in the 1850s. Number 8. Gold Coast. South of Brisbane lies the city of Gold Coast. Ever since the Surfers Paradise Hotel opened up in the 1920s, this whole region has boomed as a beach resort, popular with surfers. But the very wide beach itself is pretty impressive, stretching for miles and miles, making it perfect for anyone who likes the feel of sand between their toes. Though, the Gold Coast can be a little expensive, living in Southport is more affordable. It's still close to the beach in the town itself, but it's much more laid back and quiet than other areas. Lots of international students live here too. For the outdoors lover, Mermaid Beach is another good option. After a busy day of surfing, for fans of food, navigate your way through the notable high-rise skyline of the city to Miami Marquita. Here, you will find a selection of street eats to the soundtrack of live music, all washed down with freshly made cocktails. Number 7. Brisbane. This large city has much more to it than first meets the eye. There's a lot of culture here, from the Botanic Gardens on Mount Coot-tha to the weekend farmers markets where you can pick up fresh, organic produce. In fact, there's a lot of eating to be done in general, with a healthy restaurant scene to explore. If Brisbane sounds good to you, then look into living in New Farm. This suburb is about its parks, nightlife, and historic buildings. Finally, Spring Hill is an inner suburb featuring more parks and clusters of Victorian buildings for a decidedly picturesque place to base yourself in Brisbane. To get to grips with the city, we'd recommend taking a trip along the Brisbane River. It's a good way to check out all the architectural styles and parks here, plus, it's a pretty chilled way to spend an afternoon. Number 6. Wollongong. Situated 90 minutes south of Sydney, by car, At least, Wollongong is all about living by the sea, it's as simple as that. In Wollongong, you will find beaches, rock pools, cliff walks, and plenty of other natural attractions that lean toward the ocean, so if you like surfing or just staring at the sea, this is the place for you. The inner suburb of Mount Pleasant is a pleasant place to base yourself. Here you'll find plenty of malls and cafes, all within a short distance of the CBD. In the north, Woonona is another good option for you to live in Wollongong. It's also right near the beach, with plenty of eateries to sample, too. The center of very relaxed Wollongong is very walkable. However, it's not that big, so you will be able to explore this city on foot, hitting its new, cool and quirky cafe, bar, and restaurant scene. In fact, 80 new establishments have sprung up since 2012. Number 5. Melbourne. Melbourne is a top Australian city where people from over 200 countries make up a super multicultural urban landscape. For instance, you'll find the largest Greek population outside of Greece here. These different kinds of people come together in the city's food markets and cultural celebrations. For a quirky, cool hipster neighborhood, head to Fitzroy. Here, you'll find plenty of street art, vegetarian hangouts, and coffee shops. St Kilda is all about healthy living, where everyone jogs and eats in good restaurants. For another option, Windsor is home to plenty of students. Places with great Wi-Fi and cheap eats are popular in Melbourne. You will find new wave food trucks, high-end dining, late-night snacks, and many places for you to get a good cup of coffee. Number 4. Perth. Perth is the capital of Western Australia and is one of the most remote cities globally. When you're in the city itself, you certainly feel the weight of the natural world around you, with deserts to the north, south, and east and a wide open sea to the west. There's a lot of open space to enjoy if you like the great outdoors. Head to Maylands if you want a nice place to live in Perth that comes complete with quirky vintage shops and cute bakeries. On the other hand, the coastal suburb of Fremantle is a laid-back, cheaper place to live that has a surfer vibe. Here you'll see people jogging and families enjoying time together, and you'll be able to get some great views of Perth from a higher vantage point here. Number 3. Hobart. Hobart is the capital of Tasmania, Australia's island state, and sits on a backdrop of Mount Wellington, 1,270 meters, which can be hiked, thanks to the numerous trails of Wellington Park. Hobart City has many picturesque old buildings, making it a charming place for a wander on your days off, including 1830s Salamanca Place. When looking for an area to live in Hobart, we'd recommend starting your search in North Hobart. If Hobart is too expensive, Battery Point is a good alternative. The colonial-style buildings at Battery Point now house a plethora of shops and cafes, making it a cool hangout for tourists who like to sip coffee. Number 2. Sydney. Sydney may not be the capital of Australia, but it is its largest city. This is where it gets interesting. You could spend evenings hanging out at the Sydney Opera House, days surfing at Bondi Beach, and yet, you can use more of your time hitting up the Asian food on offer at the city's Chinatown. Though the very center of Sydney itself can be pricey, we would recommend the neighborhood of Manly. It's a simple ferry ride to town with all the other commuters. Surrey Hills is a cool neighborhood with Victorian houses and a burgeoning hipster vibe, with tons of cafes in this once working class, now gentrified part of town. Sydney's central business district is the place to go if you want bars and restaurants galore. We would also recommend hitting up the night market in Chinatown for a foodie buzz after dark. Number 1. Byron Bay. Byron Bay draws visitors not just for its rugged coastline, with scrubby cliffs and cool beaches. It's also got a relaxed atmosphere that keeps people coming back. There's a hippie by the sea vibe here, in a town named after the grandfather of famous poet Lord Byron, previously named Cavanba, which means meeting place. In addition, it's a relatively small place to live in, the kind of town where getting around on a bicycle is the norm. But you could choose to base yourself in Sunrise, a cheaper part of town that's still pretty close to the beach, and just a 10-minute cycle away from the center. Lily-Pilly Byron Bay is also a nice place to live, all small houses with cute gardens. Like in much of the country, surf culture is big news in Byron Bay. But when you're not hitting the beach, you can fill your stomach at one of the many vegan or vegetarian restaurants, chow down at street food stalls, or have a drink or two at the town selection of bars. That is all we have for you in today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and do not forget to check out our playlist for more awesome videos. In addition, Please make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on your notifications bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.